We can easily convert any traffic congestion to a green wave. I'll use as an example the most congested street in Melbourne, Hoddle Street, in the morning peak. First, we should not permit congestion to arise by metering or gating traffic to 90% of capacity. Then we can link traffic signals in the peak direction so that the platoon of traffic travelling at the speed limit passes through successive intersections without stopping. Problem solved. This is better for buses than a bus lane because there are no traffic delays and, importantly, no intersection delays. So a bus lane is no longer required. And the 10% reduction in capacity for metering is converted to a 20% increase in capacity with the removal of the bus lane. Second, in the counter-peak direction, based on the speed limit and spacing of intersections and pedestrian crossings, traffic may stop frequently. This excessive number of stops for counter-peak traffic can be reduced by staging these crossings so that traffic signals can be linked both ways between major intersections. Third, capacity can be further increased by 70% by converting intersections to two-phase and processing right turns on the approaches within the existing footprint. It can even be done within the existing layout, simply by banning right turns and letting drivers adapt. This also cuts the number of crashes by half and cuts the signal cycle time and therefore pedestrian crossing delay by half. These capacity increases will reduce the time delay at the queue at the metering site, that is, on the Eastern Freeway. For a trip from Yarra River at Dights Falls to Yarra River at Cremorne that now takes 40 minutes, metering and bus lane removal cuts that to 25 minutes, and two-phase intersections then cuts that to 16 minutes, and queue jumping with the bus then cuts it further to 8 minutes. Finally, if most traffic jumps the queue for the very low 8-minute trip time, emissions would be halved. One option to achieve this is by road pricing, where the price is set so high that the congestion would rarely occur. This means that the buses would rarely be delayed to prevent congestion, and trips that would otherwise have been made by car would be made by bus, by other means or not made, and there would usually be no queue. Trip costs by bus are probably less than costs by car. But one might want the convenience and security of a car, so free access lanes could be retained and metered by traffic signals, in addition to the tolled priority lanes. Free access demand would be controlled by queue delay that would have an increased trip time of 23 minutes rather than the 16 minutes if there were no tolled queue jumping. Streamlining Hoddle Street was the subject of public consultation, but all this was too complicated for the public through their politicians to propose, agree and control, despite the universal desire to remove congestion. The absence of a proactive insight into traffic engineering has retained congestion, so the existing trip time stays at 40 minutes and not 8. Crash rates are double, delays are double, emissions are double, and 28% of trips by car are avoided because of congestion. Read my book on crafting green waves if you want to see the detail. Thank you.